only man who can save the show. So you need to think about there's money here, there's risk, I know you have no in the camp, and there's money and there's risk. You choose. I say, I just start building up my mall. I need money. And that's it. The money was good. I say, yes, I'm ready to go. So I accept the fight.
Martin Bakole's interview after losing to Joseph Parker wasn't just a post-fight reaction, it was a statement. Calling himself the only man who can save the show wasn't confidence, it was a warning. In boxing, you either chase the money or fear the risk, and Bakole made it clear he's after both. No sob stories, no playing the victim, just raw ambition. Losing to Parker didn't break him, it ignited a fire. When he said he needs money to build his legacy, it wasn't greed. It was about proving he belongs at the top. His tone wasn't humble, it was dangerous. He spoke like a fighter who knows his worth and doesn't care who stands in his way. Parker may have taken the win, but Bakole's hunger.
To be honest, me, I was waiting for the fight. And I even buy my Danzai to watch the fight on live. And I was surprised, and I don't know what happened, and I don't know what's wrong. So I just had Coach Billy call me, say Daniel Dubois is a little bit sick. And they asked if you can fight Joseph Parker. And I was shocked and surprised, but I don't know what happened.
Is the real threat. If the boxing world isn't ready for a comeback fueled by risk, money, and pure grit, they better step aside, because Bakole isn't asking for permission. But did he even see the Parker fight coming? Not a chance. He had front-row seats, virtually, ready to watch the action unfold. Then, out of nowhere, his coach Billy hit him with shocking news. The opponent was out, and Bakole's name was on the line. No warning, no build-up, just a shot at Parker with zero time to second-guess. Was this a stroke of luck or a setup to catch him off guard? Confused or not, Bakole didn't get to sit back and watch. He stepped in. Now, the question isn't if he'll return, it's when. Martin Bakole had to step into the fire. Let's be real. This wasn't about being surprised.
We were close, when Dan Dubois fell ill. It was between me, I think Bakole was the only other person. We got right to we agreed it was all done. We were going to pack our bags. And then we found out that Parker's team decided to go with Bakole, and here we are.
In boxing, you either take the risk or get left behind. Shock, confusion, or nerves don't matter. What matters is how you respond when you're called to step up. And Bakole? The world is watching to see if he can turn shock into victory. Did he sell his shot at glory for a fat paycheck? Or did he prove why he's the heavyweight division's ultimate nightmare? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Meanwhile, Lawrence Okolie didn't hold back when reflecting on the Joseph Parker fight situation. He revealed that he was right in the mix when the opportunity opened up. After the original opponent fell ill, it came down to him and another contender. Everything seemed locked in, bags packed, ready to go.
You're my brother. I tell the coach, look, I can't let my brother down. So you spend a lot in the camp, so let me go.
Listen, you have safe to your family. Thank you very much.
Oh. Then, out of nowhere, Parker's team switched gears and chose Bakole instead. Just like that, the shot slipped through Okolie's fingers. But here's the real question. Was it a strategic move to avoid his power, or did Bakole simply offer the bigger payday? In boxing, decisions like these are rarely random. Whether it was politics, timing, or plain luck, one thing's for sure. Okolie isn't the type to sit back quietly. This twist may have closed one door, but you can bet he's already looking for the next one to knock down. After the brutal showdown between Martin Bakole and Joseph Parker, the post-fight meetup revealed a different side of the sport. Despite the punches thrown and the battle,
I feel I was going to beat him because my mentality was there, and I was ready, and I feel like if I touch him with the beautiful uppercut or backhand, no. I was in the gym 10 rounds is enough, but or not fitness of taking someone who was in a camp, preparing for the IBF world title against someone who's Daniel Dubois.
Fought, Bakole made it clear that brotherhood and respect still matter. Face-to-face with Parker, he acknowledged the sacrifices made during training camp, the blood, sweat, and money invested to reach that moment. But here's the real question. Was this pure sportsmanship, or a subtle reminder that boxing isn't just about winning, it's about earning respect. Parker's words carried weight, not just as a fighter, but as a man who understands the grind. In a sport where rivalries fuel headlines, moments like this prove that even after the final bell, real warriors recognize each other's hustle. Whether it's a handshake or a punch, respect in the ring hits just as hard.
So Daniel would probably have won because of activity. But in saying that, Joe did look sharp last night, at least for that short spell. But but Martin hit him with some shots that Joe probably shouldn't have been hit with. And if that was a fully fit Daniel DeWoe, it could have been troublesome.
Bakole didn't hold back when reflecting on his mindset before the Parker fight. He believed he had what it took to win, mentally locked in and physically ready. He was confident that one perfectly timed uppercut or power shot could change everything. But here's where the real challenge kicked in, stepping into the ring against someone who had been deep in training camp, preparing for an IBF world title clash against a powerhouse like Daniel Dubois. Sure, Bakole had put in work at the gym, but there's a difference between staying sharp and being battle-ready. So
he didn't look ready. He'd flown overnight from Congo to Ethiopia to land early hours of the Saturday morning here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and he really wasn't ready for the fight with Joseph Parker. Commendations for being brave enough to step into the ring at short notice. Parker really sharp, kind of bamboozled him and scrambled his senses in the second round. It was a big mismatch.
was it a matter of timing or preparation? One thing's clear. Bakole didn't step into that fight doubting himself, and if that uppercut had landed clean, we might be having a very different conversation right now. Talking about a whole different outcome, Billy Nelson didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the fight. He believed Daniel Dubois might have had the upper hand due to his activity leading up to the bout. But credit where it's due, Joseph Parker looked sharp, at least in the early rounds. Still, Nelson pointed out a crucial flaw. Parker took shots from Martin Bakole that he probably shouldn't have. And here's the kicker. If those punches had come from a fully fit Dubois, the outcome could have been a whole different story. The question is, did Parker get lucky, or is his defense starting to crack? In a sport...
But Martin Bakole, in many ways, saved the show or saved the fight. I think it was brilliant that Joseph Parker took that challenge. His former sparring partner, one of the boogeymen, the danger men in heavyweight boxing. Obviously, Bakole hadn't trained, was way out of shape, but answered the call from Turki Al-Sheikh, who looked after him financially and promised him another fight in May.
Where one clean shot can end it all, leaving openings like that could spell big trouble in future matchups. But was Bakole set up to fail against Parker? Gareth A. Davies didn't hold back, pointing out that Bakole looked anything but ready after flying overnight from Congo to Ethiopia, then landing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, just hours before the fight. It's no surprise his body wasn't primed for battle. Stepping into the ring on short notice took guts, no question about that. But bravery doesn't win fights. Parker came in sharp, focused, and ready to dominate. By the second round, he had Bakole stumbling, scrambling his senses with precise shots.
It made him be a little bit more thoughtful and apprehensive, right? But in all honesty, it wasn't a joke fight. It was a massive gamble. Martin Bakole is the mucus of the bogeyman. My heart goes out for him, right? But I'm also going to be realistic and know that he got greatly financially rewarded. And I mean greatly financially rewarded. He took a massive chance
that left no room to recover. Let's be real, this wasn't a fair fight. It was a mismatch from the start. But here's the real question. Would Parker still dominate if Bakole had a full training camp? Or did Bakole's short notice save Parker from a much tougher night? One thing's certain, boxing fans won't stop wondering what could have been. Did Martin Bakole save the show or step into a no-win situation? Adam Smith called it like it is. Bakole's decision to fight Joseph Parker on short notice kept the event alive. Props to Parker for taking on the challenge, especially against a former sparring partner known as one of the heavyweight division's boogeymen. But let's not
I'm not confident in that fitness, but I was confident from first round to sixth round because that's prime plenty time, and I was confident that I would stop him early before I passed the sixth round.
Ignore the facts. Bakole wasn't in fight shape and hadn't trained for this bout. Still, when the call came from Turkey, Alec, who backed him financially and promised another shot in May, Bakole didn't hesitate. But here's the real question. Was this pure bravery or a rushed gamble that cost him a fair chance? One thing's for sure, a fully prepared Bakole would be a whole different beast. And come May, the heavyweight division better be ready because this boogeyman isn't done yet. Was Bakole's last-minute fight a brave gamble or a payday worth the risk? Spencer Farron didn't sugarcoat it. Bakole stepped into the ring as the ultimate boogeyman, a fighter even heavyweight champions fear. He's not just a threat, he's the founder, the chairman of the Boogeyman Club. But let's be real, this wasn't some throwaway match. It was a massive gamble, and Bakole rolled the dice with everything on the line. Sure, he walked away with a fat paycheck. Farron made that clear. But the real question is whether the financial reward was worth the risk to his reputation. Stepping in unprepared against a sharp, ready Parker was always dangerous. But now the world is wondering, if Bakole had time to train, would Parker still be standing? One thing's certain, the chairman of Fear isn't done yet. Bakole made it clear that while his fitness might not have been at its peak, his confidence was undeniable. From the first round to the sixth, he believed he had the power and skill to stop Parker early. His sparring sharpened his game, and he stepped into the ring convinced he could finish the fight before it reached the later rounds. But here's the question, was that confidence enough to overcome Parker's preparation and endurance? In boxing, belief can fuel victory, but when the rounds stretch on, conditioning becomes the ultimate test. Bakole swung for an early knockout, but when the fight pushed past the sixth, the real battle began. One punch could have changed everything, but timing, endurance, and heart separate the good from the great.